Alright, so I promised you updates on these plants. They haven't been very good at keeping up with them. But I did want to show you the reality of the situation. When you don't keep up with them, the water gets a little icky. But it's okay. The leaves are getting a little crunchy. And these have gone completely dry, and I've added water to them. So, I mean, I just topped them off instead of coming through and cleaning them up like I'm doing right now. So, and part of the reason why I want to show you, look at that little guy, brand new. Is we've got a long way to go till spring, and even if you're not perfect, you can still have good outcomes with cuttings and plants. Give yourself some grace. The rules are made to be broken, so this, and that's sort of a thing too. The gardening rules, you don't need to buy hundreds of dollars worth of equipment to start gardening. So, you know, all that stuff is kind of fun to have, but I don't want people to think that they can't do something because they don't have a bunch of equipment. And so there we go. That's what I'm doing with these guys. And you know, like I said, if you wanted to take up less space, you could take a cutting of your cutting. All you're really trying to do is keep some cuttings until springtime, when we can go again. So all I do with all the dead leaves is I move them over into there. So yeah, people get caught up with rules and things like this. This is a begonia one. This one feels a little icky, but we're not going to give up on it. I think it keeps trying, this one in particular, this is the with Lakuchi one, it keeps trying to flower instead of making roots. You see, it hardly has any roots. It does have some though. I don't know if you can see that, but it does have some tiny roots there, but not as great as some of the other ones. But it keeps trying to flower instead of rooting like what we want. And this plant is a plant, I don't know, that one has some good roots. If, you know, they say they're good in zone 9, and there's a lot of things that don't make it, even though we are a zone 9. And then here recently I seen something that said that we're a 9A instead of a 9B. But it's one of those things on the borderline. I would rather have some cuttings to make sure that we have something, have this planting in the spring, because it does make a beautiful hanging basket. So I do feel some mushy ones. Anything mushy I would throw out. Leaves dropped. This guy's okay. And it's going to get colder and colder, so the blight and stuff, I could see a few flowers here. Yeah, this one flowers white, which is kind of unusual for begonia. They're usually some shade of pink. Okay. So this stuff I'm not gonna, yeah, I'm just not gonna mess with this stuff. I've got myself a little bucket over here that I have a compost bucket. I put my little grounds in, and speaking of which, you can see that that's just a coffee can. I didn't have to buy a $50 bucket to keep scraps in. So, and this is the Ace of Spades ones. Look at how pretty the pink ones are. And you can see some green ones, brand new ones coming up. Now I may not do much to this other than pick off some of the dead leaves. And like I said, some of these went completely dry. I neglected them that bad. The jar, they drank all the water out of the jar, and the jar was sitting there dry. And they still made it, so... Might come a day the jars are starting to color, and I might switch up and get brand new jars out, put these in the dishwasher, and get a little bio slime on them. Get rid of that. The whole reason why I'm not separating them is because I got them so packed tiny in this jar. If you wanted to put them in more jars, and again, you can see how long these are. You can definitely, they wind up being very pretty in your windowsill, but I don't keep them in my windowsill because my animals go after them big time. And sweet potato is an okay one to have in your house because it doesn't, it's not poisonous to anybody, so it's one to keep in mind. Now this one right here is a torch, and I just love this begonia. This has to be my favorite one. It seems very hardy. You can see that just by cutting. So I don't know why some of them are curling. But they're doing really amazing. For the lack of care. Now, you know, some people in the springtime, if this was springtime and I was going to plant these out, I would probably water these every day and keep them wet until they got their soil roots in, because soil roots and water roots are two different types of roots. So there might be a little bit of a growing, I might see, this is why I put them all together and stick them in, because there's no place to poke them in once you get a few of them in there. So I'm going to grab them in a handful and poke them down like I've been doing. And see Asia over there? This is why I don't bring them in the house, because or have them out here, because the cats absolutely love plants, and they'll knock them off and play with them and roll around with them and do all these crazy things with them. Not right, Asia? So those of you who don't know me, has never seen Asia before, she is a Bengal cat. She's strictly indoors. And I also have a Savannah cat that is also strictly indoors. Yeah, you can't have those plants. Those are mommy's plants. I'll leave that one there for a minute for you to mess with. Now, see, like this one looks a little, it feels, it's rotten. I would take those out. See that? Take it out. Now, not everything that you do this way will 100% guarantee your roots, but you definitely get none if you don't try, so there's that point. And a lot of these don't feel as rotten as that one did, so see that flower, I'm going to take it off. Yeah, this feels a little rotten down below, so I'm going to take the cutting up a little higher and see. There's a flower there, I'm going to remove it. Asia, you have fun over there, aren't you? little bottom part of that feels a little icky. Alright, so this one right here, I did a video on cuttings for Vincobides, and I feel really bad because this was a bad experiment. They really did not root as easily as I thought they would in this jar here. So I hope the person I recommended doing this had better results than I did. But then again, there's always the thing, you know, I showed 3 different ways to propagate it. So if you try, if you're trying to propagate a plant, it doesn't hurt to try a couple of different ways to see what works. We've got one little green branch left. We'll see if that does anything with us. But I apologize to the person that I recommended doing this because evidently that was sort of a fail on the Vincobide. Sweet potatoes and begonias going strong now. So, look at how green that got from me neglecting it. It's closer to the window, that's why. If you had to, or if it really bothered you that much to see a little green, you could put like a teaspoon of bleach in there and that would clear up, and it really wouldn't hurt your plant being as well. I mean, if you had regular sweet potatoes, you probably wouldn't want to use bleach because you'd be eating it, but it doesn't bother me, natural slime, that much. Anyhow, so that was the update on the only reason why I keep showing this, one, it gives me an opportunity to talk to you, 2 is sort of showing you that cutting this time of year too, there's really not a lot for a gardener to do. I mean, there are some people that are cold weather gardening in our area for broccoli and things like that. I'm not really a market gardener, and you know, there's only a few things. I've been trying to concentrate on perennials and things that come back every year. Not really one that's into stooping over on the ground, and we can't afford any big fancy garden beds this year, so we'll just try and play around with whatever ornamentals and so forth that we have. And I'm thankful for everything that I have, so there's that. Well, I hope you guys have a great holiday and you've enjoyed watching me take care of these cuttings very poorly. And if you'd like to visit with me again in Asia, please subscribe to my channel. We're a very new channel and could use the views and the subscriptions. And thank you for watching. Have a great day.